Oh, I haven't done my assignment. Only 2 more hours to go. What to do? Wait, let's call a friend, get his assignment, and submit that. Good idea, right? Well, not really. Because chances are that this guy will get caught by a plagiarism software. And then he and his friend will end up in a trouble. And you don't want to be in that boat, right? So in this video, we are talking about everything you need to know about assignments in Australia, including some tips that you should know as an international student. Now, first thing first, who am I to tell you about assignments? Well, I was an international student in Australia a while back, but now I am actually on the other side of the bench. That is, I'm a teacher in a vocational education school here in Australia. So the information coming in this video will be from someone who has got the experience in this area. So first thing first, what is an assignment? So usually assignment can be considered as a homework. It is not same as exam because in an exam you have to sit and complete a task, while assignments can be done at your own time, but obviously they have deadlines or due dates. And usually you're expected to do some research or do some sort of work before undertaking this assignment. Now obviously each subject that you take will come either with assignments or exams or with both. It's quite common that many of your subjects may not have any exam at all. I teach in vocational education and we hardly have any exam for any of the subjects, which means most of the subjects that we teach just have assessments or assignments. But at university level, in certain subjects, you will have to do exams as well. Out of 12 subjects that I studied in my master's, I had to take only 3 or 4 exams during my whole studies. And the good thing about those exams were half of them were open book. Now let's discuss some of the types of assignments that you might be required to do in your subjects. So there could be different type of assignments you could be doing in your subjects. Some of the popular ones are like writing essay or a report. In both the cases, you have to do your thorough research and then you may have to write a certain word limit reports or essays depending upon the requirements, or you may have to go through a case study and answer some of the questions based on that case study. There could be quizzes as well where you may have to do a multiple choice or a true and false sort of a quiz. At times you might be required to do some group work, or you might be also required to do some presentations as well. In certain units where you have some practical components, you may have to provide some demonstrations of the task as well. For an example, my own brother studied a software development course here in Australia. As a part of his assessments, he was required to create softwares and he had to submit those softwares for the assessments. So depending upon the type of the course you're doing, there might be some practical component that you might be required to submit in your assessments. Now the next question is where to find these assignments. Now when you enroll into any course at university or vocational education program, most likely you will be given an access to an online platform. Many of the universities use Moodle as their preferred platform, but there could be other type of platform that you might have access to. And in that platform, you will be given information about all the subjects that you're studying and information about your assessments as well. Now, whether you're studying in university or vocational education program, they will give you a plan for each week that you're going to study there in a specific term. So usually the term could go from anywhere from 10 weeks to 12 weeks, depending upon the type of institution. And for each week, you will have a specific set of outline regarding what things you're going to study in this week and what sort of assignments or tasks that you may need to complete during that week. And very importantly, they will give you the information regarding the deadlines about your assessments at the start of the term. So you will know exactly when your assignments will be due. So to simply answer that question regarding where to find your assignments, you can easily find them in the platform that your university or institute will give you access to. And sometimes if they don't have access to those things, then they will give you a physical printouts or will let you know how you need to complete those assignments. Now the most important question is how to do assignments. What is the method? So one of the first and the most important tip that I can give you from my own experience is that you must attend all the lectures and tutorials for your studies. from my personal experience, I've noticed that the students who usually fail the assignments are the ones who never attend their classes. So attend your classes regularly, because in those classes, your lecturers, your tutors, your trainers will give you instructions on how to complete your assignments. So do not skip those classes. Now, when it comes to how to complete your assignments, there are 4 main steps you have to follow in order to complete them. The first step is to understand the instructions. Very importantly, before you even attempt any question, understand the instructions, what you are required to do in the assessment task. It's very important to read those instructions carefully, because sometimes you get some key ideas from those instructions themselves. And obviously, if you don't understand something from those instructions, then you're welcome to go out and seek help from your trainer or your tutor. Once you understood that, the next thing is to start planning. So planning phase is where you start looking for some information, start doing some research on how you're gonna write your assessment task. Then comes the actual writing part, where you will start typing your answers. So here in this part, you will be writing the answer to those questions in your assignment. And the last step will be to check your assessments. Make sure to proofread your assignments before submitting your assignments. A lot of times I've seen students submitting wrong documentation, and then they regret submitting it, because most likely they're gonna end up paying the fines and the penalties. So make sure to check each and every element of your assignment before your final submission. Now, the next important part is deadlines. So each and every task that you will be completing will have a specific deadline, and what usually happens is, if you don't submit after a certain time frame, you will be getting a penalty. It could be a penalty for your scores, or that you may need to resubmit again, or you may have to pay a late submission fee. Depending upon the institute you are studying in, they may have a different policy in regards to late submissions. So it's very important that you pay attention to that as well. In one of the places that I teach, they have a late submission fee of $110 for every late submission. So please pay attention to those deadlines. And usually you will get a notification weeks in advance about the deadlines of your assessments. Next very important part is plagiarism. Some of you might have heard this word already. Plagiarism basically means copying others' work. Most of the universities or institutes these days in Australia used a software called Turnitin. And this plagiarism software can easily pick up the sources where the students are getting their information from, and can provide a very detailed report to the tutors who are going to check your assignments. So high plagiarism could mean that you could be failing the unit, which means that you could be paying the whole fee for a subject again to study that subject, which is not very ideal. So how can you avoid plagiarism? Most of the time, if you're going to use any internet resource or any source out there available and relevant to your assignment, you can certainly read and get some ideas from there, but it is expected that you use your own words to explain those things. So rather than copying and pasting them as it is, understand that specific article you are referring to and then provide your take on that article, which means explain it in your own words in what you understood from that article, rather than copying and pasting. And that brings us to the very next important part, which is referencing. Even though you might have not copied any information from any other sources, but you might have done research on specific websites. So you must provide a reference to those specific articles or specific books that you have used for your research. Depending upon the university, they could be using a different type of referencing system. The most popular one that is used in Australia is Harvard referencing. But that doesn't mean that's the only referencing style. So please refer to your university or institute's referencing policy on what type of referencing system is being used. And there may be additional requirements like having a footnote as part of your referencing. So for this specific referencing, I highly recommend you that you attend sessions offered by your university or institute. When I was doing my degree, my university offered a specific session for referencing, and I attended that to make sure that I don't mess up with the referencing list. Because if you don't provide a correct referencing list, it could still be considered as part of the plagiarism, which we don't want. Now, a genuine question could be, how if I don't understand the assignment, what can I do in that case? So let's discuss about some of the support systems from your university. Usually university lecturers and tutors or trainers in vocational education are quite friendly. So you can easily rock up to them and ask for help. I suggest you to arrange a meeting with them through an email, or if you can send them an email directly about your questions, that can be great as well. But don't do it in the night when your assignment is due. Do it at least few days ahead of time so that they can meet up or they can explain you about your assessments. There may be some other support systems available through your university or some outside channels as well. So take advantage of those systems. If you have a friends who can explain you about your assignments, that's great as well. But when it comes to friends, I do not recommend to share your assignments with any of your friends. The reason being that many times I've seen friends submitting the same assessments like their friends. Obviously, both the people whose assignments were caught up in plagiarism had to repeat the whole thing again. We do understand that some students might be just helping their friends, but in all honesty, you can never trust anyone in regards to your assignments. So please do not share your assignments with anyone. And when I say anyone, it means anyone. And if you're really struggling to do your assessments, there is usually a provision for special consideration by your university or institute. Please speak out nice and early about your struggles for the assignments with your teacher, with your support systems available in your university so that they can help you out. But again, do not come on the last day when your assignment is due. In this special consideration, they can give you some additional time or they can provide you some additional support as well if needed. And if you're thinking of getting your assignment done from these assignment help services, think again. Because cheating and getting the assignment done from someone else is illegal in Australia and the consequences can be devastating. So our suggestion is do not use such services. If you can't do it yourself, seek help from your university sources or from your trainers or tutors. But do not engage in any cheating services as they are considered illegal and the consequences are very harsh if you get caught. Now last but not the least is my quick opinion on assignments in Australia. In my personal opinion, the assignments are not that difficult in Australia, but you obviously need to make sure that you pay attention to your classes and also the lecture notes and any additional material provided by your trainers or tutors. Do not skip classes because usually some instructions are provided in those classes itself. And if at any time you feel that you can't do it or you are in a trouble, please seek help. We are here to help you to pass your assessments and achieve great things in your career. We are not here to fail you. So that was a pretty long video in regards to your assignments. Hopefully you find some value in today's video. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section as always. And if you want a specific videos talking about Australian education, please let us know in the comment section below as well. And as always, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.